Greetings, and TGIF, everyone. Happy after Turkey Day, gobble gobble. How was your holiday? Was it quiet? Did you social distance like you were supposed to? I ended up joining a Zoom meeting for Thanksgiving with Miss Regina. It was nice. Um, saw some people I haven't seen before. Some people I haven't seen in a long time. It was nice, I must say. They were encouraging people to use it because they want you to social distance. The numbers are going up. People are having parties and doing all these type of things and gatherings. So they're like, okay, let us give some free minutes. I don't know how long it was because I got an email too, but I wasn't interested in using it. Well, they gave some free time beyond the free trial that they already give you. So I think that was great. And let's see what else is happening. Let's see, we got a birthday today. Happy birthday, Sherelle. We've been having a birthday like, shoot, every week, just about. I think we got a couple of people in December, not that many, but if I got your birthday, I'm going to help celebrate it. That's right. I'm going to remember you and put it right here. Let's see, what else happened? Well, last week I had an issue with the heating leak. So that's all over with. Cleanup has been done. However, now I have to replace things and, they don't make things like they used to. So, yeah, I got work to do. But that's okay. Everything is cleaned up. The leak is gone. I'm pretty happy, to say the least. Let's see. Oh, I got a question. I see that DJ music. I see it. Well, I hope you have a little something, a little participation. Because we can go in different directions with this. You'll see. If you've seen the original video, you will get it and understand it. But that is enough of me, just chewing the fat, as they say. And I will bring to stage the lovely, the classy, the classic Ruby, everybody.
See, now I feel like I should have like a little bit of "Isn't She Lovely" playing, right? As I twirl onto the stage to grace you all with my presence this evening.
Oh my.
I'm not extra at all. How you doing this evening, Char?
I am doing well. How are you?
I'm doing not too shabby, not too shabby. I mean, I didn't get a whole Thanksgiving yesterday, but it's all right. I'm stealing your Thanksgiving. I'm making myself one on Sunday anyway, because I love turkey. So in a little bit, I won't be jealous. For now, I'm jealous and living vicariously through y'all, though. Otherwise, I'm good. I'm good. At least we get Black Friday, right? We get your Black Friday. We get our Black Friday in October. So we get Black Friday twice. So I think we're pretty lucky. I gotta say. Gotta say.
That's true.
Right?
Yeah. I end up, a couple of things I had to replace. It kind of worked out, being Black Friday. So I was able to get some extra deals or free shipping. So that I do appreciate. Oh, yeah.
Ooh, very nice. Always very nice. You know, I opened a PayPal account. So my regular one that I actually have used ever, yeah, didn't get this offered to that. But to the one that I opened up way like forever ago, like maybe 12, 13 years ago that I never used, that I planned on using if I ever opened up a store on my blog site. That one that I didn't even know, I didn't even realize that it existed. I got $10 for free. So there you
Oh,
go. Yeah, just basically like, can you please use us? Cash App is putting us out of business. So if you could start using your PayPal accounts again, we'll be really happy. That's how I took that message, but it's all right. $10 is $10. I'm just gonna PayPal it to my PayPal account that I use, and there you go. So,
Okay. All
hmm
right. Good
yeah.
deal.
So,
Okay. Yeah,
mm,
it kind of worked out for me on let me see, was it Wednesday? It's been such a tough week for me. I'm trying to recall. Let's see. Let's go with Wednesday. That sounds good. Wednesday, I had placed an order for, it was Wednesday, for Whole Food for delivery. And because I was dealing with the cleanup work in the apartment, I kind of got sidetracked, and the delivery was supposed to be here by 1 o'clock.
mm,
And it wasn't until I think two something or three, and I checked my email. I said, "Oh, yeah." And then 4 o'clock came, then 5 o'clock came,
mm,
and then 6 o'clock came, and then they sent an email to me. I think it was the 6 o'clock hour, and they said, "If you haven't received your delivery, give us a call."
mm,
So I, contacted Amazon. They apologized. They gave me $5 courtesy credit. And then when I woke up in the morning, I got an email from Whole Foods saying, "Sorry, we couldn't deliver, um, but we will give you a $50 credit." I'm like,
mm,
"For me?
mm.
Thank, thank you." So I appreciate it.
Okay. Okay. Now, my question is this though, right? Because this is important. Was your order over or under $50?
Under $50.
Okay. Okay, yeah, then it's worth it. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Because because sometimes they're ridiculous, right? Like you'll order something for like $100, and then they'll give you $25 credit, and you're like, that only pays for like a quarter of it, and it doesn't pay for my inconvenience or pain or suffering either, right? Like so if it pays up for 100% plus a little bit of pain and suffering, all right. Okay, see, that's a good deal. I like that. They did good.
Yeah, and I didn't need the items. It was some guacamole and some spring water and a couple other things. But I didn't
Nice.
like need it because I didn't cook anything for Thanksgiving. I spent my time breaking down the entertainment center, moving things from one room to the next. I was just working. So that's how I really spent my Thanksgiving.
Girl, then what did you eat? You have to eat after a long day's work like that.
I did. Let's see, what did I have in there? I don't know. I ate something. I don't even remember. But I do remember I opened up that bottle of champagne. That I do
Nice.
remember.
All right, all right. Okay. Okay, I'll take the champagne. That's a win. That's a win.
I remember that.
At least you open. I remember opening the champagne. Did you close it? I don't remember that. This is like I was drinking champagne. What do you want from me? Right? So yeah, no, that's good. That's good. Well, that sounds good though. All in all, sounds like a nice productive overall of you won $50, right? You got a
Hmm.
whole bunch of stuff down and
Yes.
you drank some champagne. All right.
Yes.
Mhm.
Oh,
Mhm.
yeah.
All
Real
right.
nice.
Mhm.
All right. So for our topic
Sorry.
of, oh, go ahead.
One more thing. I forgot the
Sure.
most important part you should be thankful for. You got
Uh,
to Zoom with Regina. I'm so jealous. Tell her she can Zoom with me anytime, girl. Anytime. Okay. That's all.
Shout out to Miss Regina, everybody. Yes.
Yes, yes,
Shout out
yes.
to Miss Regina. Okay. For our letter, it is about a young lady seeing the X at grandma house. So I'll
Mm,
play the video. I'll share that, and then we'll talk about it.
all right.
Yeah. Okay, Chrome tab. Boop.
Mm. Share audio. Here.
A letter from a young lady, and she writes, "Dear Shar, my boyfriend and I live together, and we have been together for 4 years. We now have a 1-year-old son. There was a time in the beginning of our relationship when he had cheated on me, which caused us to break up, but we got back together a year later. All is going great, except this weekend when he went to his mother's house and his sister was with the woman that he cheated on me with. They are friends and he was talking to her. I'm angry about that. What do I do? Thank you so much for your letter. These letters are getting shorter and shorter.
Right? I was blaming it because it was a man who wrote it last week, but this is a woman now. Y'all, we need some details. I want some juiciness in these letters. You know what I mean? Like, tell me what the girl was wearing, right? She was wearing the, freakum heels and the freakum dress, and she was up on your man, giving him the eyes, right? Like, tell me something. Jeez. All right.
Yeah, but when I had previewed this for the show, I just kind of laughed because I'm like, okay, they're very young. Because
Mm-hmm.
I remember experiencing when, and that's only because I went to my boyfriend's house because I think I got out of school or something. So I was what, 19, 20? I was young. And the family is just a great family. They welcome you in. So it's understandable if he dated someone for a while. Okay, well, that woman don't have to just definitely go away if she's friends with some of the other family members.
Mm-hmm.
And I went over there and she was there. Wasn't no big thing. I didn't take offense to it or anything because she knows the family. She knew
Right.
them before I did. And
Mm-hmm.
now I don't know if he was there because this happened a couple of times. But I think what happened was the woman needed a babysitter and it was emergency. So she called her ex-boyfriend's mom and she was right there to help out. So it
Yeah.
wasn't none of my business. I didn't care. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but I get it if she had been, cheated on. She probably got some ideas that, he might still like her or something. I don't know. But it's just some insecurity. Just want to throw that
Yeah.
out there.
Well, he might. But one has nothing to do with the other because obviously you walk into the room, you recognize the woman. That means that you recognize her from when she used to come around in that first year or two before he cheated with her. Um, so that means she was around. Now, I guess out of some kind of respect for you or fear or something, they said, okay, let's just maybe just don't show up for a little while. But clearly, she's friends with the sister, friends with the family, and she's going to be around. Now, what would you expect to have happened? Because if this is the sister's friend, the sister's what, just gonna not bring her girl with her to the things that she normally does just to respect you? Like she doesn't have a relationship with you like that. You know what I mean? That's between you and your man. Um, so no, she's gonna bring her friend that she's always brought around since maybe they were teens or something like that. Who knows?
Hmm.
So then the question becomes, well, what did you expect your man to do? Because when you say he was talking to her, in what context? Like, y'all are at a family, like a get together. Everyone talks to everyone. There's a point of get togethers is you get left in a room with someone, you know what I mean, or with a group of 2 or 3 people, and you talk to those people. And then now you go to the kitchen and there's new people there and you talk to those people. And then you go run back to the table to grab something, you talk to those people. Like that's what happens to these things. You talk to people. So what did she expect to happen? I was like, you walk in, you see her, you go,
Hmm.
oh great, this hussy's here. Okay, cool. I get why you're mad. I get why you have that response and why you're going to make little sarcastic comments and your man has to take that. Got it. Fine. But what did you expect him to do? I really wonder. Like, was he supposed to just like, he walks into the kitchen, oh, she's here, and then just, make, make a 180, walk right out that room? Better never say nothing to her. Because to me, that would be more shady. I'm just going to be real. If he felt
Mhm.
the active need to never be in a room with her, it would be to me because he does for sure still feel a desire for her and or they have a relationship, and so he wouldn't want to be caught speaking to her because it would be clear to everybody, not just me, but clear to everybody that they still got something between them, right? I feel like in that case, the only way he would feel confident enough to really have like really let's stop and have a conversation in the middle of my family, you know what I mean, with the mother of my child and my child here, would be if he felt confident enough that nah, like that was a yeah, that was a bad thing I did, but I don't feel anything for this girl anymore. She's just here now.
Yeah, that's it, that was the other thing I looked at. That's his mother's house. He
Hmm.
doesn't live there. He doesn't have any
Hmm.
control of who comes in and out.
Right.
So, okay.
Right.
And and I'm with you. He gonna put on some blinders. Oh, that's her. Okay, just ignore her. I mean, I mean, a simple hello, how you doing?
Right.
That's good. How's JoJo? All right. Or whatever.
Right.
That's nothing wrong with that. It's all right.
Right. I mean,
Oh,
before they hooked up, if this is the sister's friend, right? A long-term friend to the point where she's coming to family get-togethers like that, for years upon years, then that means he's also known this girl for a very long time before they did what they did, right? So
mhm.
that means they already established a knowledge of each other. Like if you have siblings, or cousins or anybody like that in your family and you guys grew up close, then like you're close to their friends too. Like when you see them, you're like, oh my God, I haven't seen you so long. And you know about their mommy and their auntie and their this and their that. You know about their whole life. So,
Right.
if they for whatever reason, I don't know if it was a one-time hookup or if they had a little mini affair or something, I don't know. But either way, they've known each other for maybe a decade, 2 decades, their whole lives practically. And then they did this one thing, right? That doesn't kind of erase all of those years of friendship, and
Right.
kinship that they kind of have with each other. So I would expect that if they did bump into each other again, that they'd be like, "Yo, what's up, Retro? How you been?" Right? I mean, you do that with exes that like broke your heart and stuff, and you bump into them. It's been a long time. You're over them now, so
Mhm.
and you bump into them all, you're like, how the heck are you? What you been up to? How's your mama? You know what I mean? You got stuff that
Right.
you want to catch up on. I knew all these people in your life and your best friend this and your auntie that, and I want to know how all those things panned out. And what are you doing? I'm glad you're keeping well. And so like that seems like a normal thing that people would do with an ex, or with a long-term friend that then you ruined your friendship by sleeping together, so now you can't be friends anymore, right? I mean, I don't know, it seems normal to
Yeah.
me. Yeah.
Yeah. And also if it just being courteous.
Right.
You know, that person. Hey, how are you? That's nice. Um,
Hmm.
how was the fish?
Right.
Oh,
The-
okay. Still got the spots and eat all the time. Okay.
yeah, yeah,
All
yeah.
right then. Well, you take care. Nice seeing you. And
Cool,
that's
cool.
it. It just
Right.
like an employer. You bump into people that you worked with or worked for. You don't have to ignore them unless it was really bad.
Right. Right. So, you know what? It's actually it's really funny, right? So there's now this isn't to do with an ex necessarily, but just to show you that him speaking to her has no bearing on him having attraction to her still or not or anything like that, because I will speak to people if I'm in your company. So like let's in this situation, I go to my mama's house and some family member I hate is there or whatever.
Mhm.
I will speak to everybody there for that day like we are all best friends, because I'm doing it honestly for my mom, keep the peace. It's a holiday. I'm not here to beef with nobody, so I don't care. So, oh, hey, yeah, okay. I'm not, you would swear to God that the whole rest of the year, I don't hate this person with every fiber of my being. You would swear it, because I'm being so nice. but that's what I'm here for. You know what I mean? Like, I'm
Right.
not forging, a bond for who I'm going to call tomorrow. It's just being nice now, and I've known you my whole life, so I can ask questions. Or like people like from my mom's church would show up, and people I don't like, do not like, do not. I have good reason. I've never had a kinship or a fellowship or a nothingship with these people. I don't like them. Don't like them. Wish they weren't inside this right now. I like literally my inner soul groaned when I walked in and saw them. And I even probably verbally complained to my mama when I had her alone for a second. Okay. That's how much I don't like these people. But if I got caught in a room with them, hey, sister so and so. Oh, so nice to see you. Oh, yes, yes. Oh, how are things? And now you're going to tell me about a bunch of things. You remember my daughter? Nope. But I'm going to go, yeah, yeah, yeah. How's she doing? Right? That's what you do. Like,
Welcome to the panel, Vonda. How are you?
Hey, Char. Hey,
hey, girl,
Ruby.
hey.
Hey,
Thank
hey,
you
hey,
for
hey.
having me.
Anytime. How are you?
Great, great, great.
Good.
Okay, so I've been listening, and her question to you was, what do I do? And my answer to her would be nothing. You do absolutely nothing. It's not her place to do anything about that woman showing up to grandma's house. Um, Now her choices are for herself. She can choose to go to the family functions, um, and deal with this woman being there or not go because this woman is going to be there and miss out on spending time with her family. Um, she decided to stay with this man, after the cheating. So at some point, when do we get past, this? This is just one
Mhm.
woman, and just because he's talking to her doesn't mean he's gonna go sleep with her again. I understand there was a breach with the trust, but it has nothing to do with this woman. It has to do with the man that you're with and the commitment or non-commitment that you have with him, not the other woman. And she's entitled to go wherever the hell she'd like to. So if you see her at the grocery store, you're not gonna go to the grocery store because she's there. It comes to a point where we have to
Mm.
mature, we got to grow up, and there are sometimes we have to deal with things that we don't want to deal with, but it's what it is, and it doesn't, there's no need to have an outburst, a temper tantrum, or fuss and be mad at the whole family because this woman is there, because the woman doesn't have anything to do with your family. Your family has no skin in that game. That's none of their business what goes on between you and your man, and this woman happens to be the third leg in it. So either you choose to go to the family functions or you don't go. Those are her options because it absolutely has nothing to do with anybody else.
To me, you choose to get over it or you don't. I
Mhm.
mean, right? I mean, because everything Vonda said is so right. And what it comes down to, though, is your ability to walk outside in the world and not let whether you're going to bump into this person who is the symbol of the mistake the man made that broke your heart, right? Is whether or not you've chosen to forgive, and let it go or not. Because if you've chosen to forgive this man, you've chosen to trust this man again, you've chosen to continue building a life with this man, right? You broke up with him, you decided that he was trustworthy once again and that he was worth a second chance or not. If you've decided to forgive him to the point that you would then get into a relationship with him for another several years, well, then, if you're going to forgive him, the person who made a promise to you, the person who slept with you, laid down with you, and fathered a child with you, and then broke that trust and that promise to you, then you need to kind of do the same thing to the woman who owed you nothing. That's just what
Mhm.
it is, right? How does she, you don't, if you have to displace all of that anger and all of that distrust onto this woman you don't even know who owed you nothing, and that's what you're really doing with it, then you have not forgiven anything. You have not really chosen to trust him again. What you've done is you've just displaced all of that anger, and now you blame the woman. It's not that your man cheated on you. It's not that your man was untrustworthy. It's that she is, she's a whore. She tempted him. If it wasn't for her, he never would have done it. And if that's that crazy reasoning that you use to be able to move forward, so that now when you see her again, now it's like, oh, see, look, he's gonna cheat again. Look. Then it sounds to me like you're blaming her. You're not blaming him. You're not holding him accountable for his actions. You're holding her accountable for his actions. So even if she was a seductress and a temptress and a whatever, at the end of the day, she doesn't owe you anything. He did. And he's the one who screwed up, and he's the one you have to trust not to do it again. So do you trust him or no? This is what it comes down to. Have you forgiven him or no?
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Now, I mean, I don't know if, maybe they spoke about this before they left the house. Well, if she's there, this is what I want you to do. Even that, I think, is just a little bit too much, because you know what? I don't like to walk through my life looking over my shoulders, and there are situations where you have to be careful. You do have to watch your surroundings, but I am not going to be intimidated or have a problem with a chick, who slept with my man, showing up at the family function. And and it's probably, true that she won't show up at every family function. At some point, this woman's going to get her own man, and her man's not going to want her showing up to her ex-man's family's house for every function. She's going to be going to his house, So what this woman needs to do is just get out of the way of herself and not create this drama with her man. She took him back knowing he cheated on her, and she knew who he cheated on her with. She needs to accept it, and she needs to move on. Because like I said, if she see the woman at the gas station, she's not going to go to that gas station no more? It's like, stop it. Let's just grow up, and let's just be mature. Like Ruby said, this woman doesn't owe you a damn thing. She owes you absolutely nothing. Nothing. She don't even have to speak to you if she doesn't want to.
Nope.
She really doesn't. So she can go wherever the hell she wants to. And guess what? You can go wherever the hell you want to. And if you have such a big problem with her being there, then don't go and don't upset yourself.
Right.
But if you're going to go, do not sit up there and make it a miserable time for everybody else. And don't be miserable yourself. Have a good time with the family. Visit. Enjoy yourself. You shouldn't have to drag the whole family in. Well, I don't want you guys talking to her no more because she slept with James, and that's TMI. The family don't want to know about all that. You guys are grown folks. Y'all doing y'all thing. Didn't nobody tell the family when you and James did it, behind, Deborah's back. Nobody knew about any of that. So just keep y'all's messy mess to yourself and go on about your life and leave that woman alone.
Yeah, a lot of times we just have those emotions, and like I said, it's immaturity. When you're immature about certain things, you just go left. And as far as asking, as she mentioned in the letter, what do I do? And then being angry. She says she was angry. It's nothing to be angry about. Again, you have to look at the fact that this woman knows his family, or definitely know the sister, according to the letter. So she can be there. If the sister's there, who knows? The sister may even live there. So what? She's not going to come visit the sister, which is her friend. That's just doing too much.
Right. And to add in there, who I'm angry the most at in this scenario right now, just based on the way that I filled in all of the gaps that she didn't tell us. Because again, like I said, if you're going to be not give us any detail to what happened thereafter, to me it feels like you did some craziness in response to this petty anger. And you didn't want to go that far because, we might not agree with you. So you just wanted to see if we'll tell you, oh, no, don't worry, you're justified in being angry, because then you could use that to justify all of the things you did in reaction to that anger. That's what I think. Now, so the person I'm most angry with currently is you. You know why? Because there's a whole like 2, 3-year-old in this situation, who's got me in them, and Thanksgiving, he's being trained up right now. He knows this is a special time. This is a time where a whole bunch of new faces are all crowded together in one place. And this is a time where children are, they're developing and reinforcing their attachment styles with their parents, right? So this is what kids do. Kids, they use their parents as a home base when they are in new or unfamiliar environments or with new or unfamiliar people, right? And so they're going to go and they're going to go explore this thing that's safe right here. Mama let them explore. And then someone new comes and they're going to run up to mommy and then, hide behind mommy or hide behind daddy and look at the new person until they hear mommy or daddy give them some encouragement. It's okay, baby. That's your auntie so and so, right? So they're going to curiously go up to auntie so and so, and then a new thing gets invited. Maybe they're going to look back at mommy and daddy to get the nod or the go ahead. But when you're so busy being wrapped up in your own feelings and your own fears, rather than paying attention to these moments for what they are and putting the focus where they should be, then that kid is getting all the wrong messages, because either you're not paying attention to them at all, or if you are, everything that you are sending them are messages of strain and discomfort, basically. And they're going to see that, and they're not attaching it to some complex third party thing that has nothing to do with them. They're attaching it to them, because children are very self-centered, right? That's something I never grew out of. So they think everything is about them. And they're going to learn that about family. They're going to learn that about new situations, about things that they're trying, foods that they're trying. I mean, you have to understand that children are incredibly sensitive to this kind of messaging. And we think, well, they're young, they won't remember. And kids, they bounce back, they'll get over it. And in a way, yes. But in a way, like something like an attachment style, that predicts a whole bunch of stuff about how you are as an adult. So to me, when it comes to things like family get-togethers, family birthday parties, family reunions, things like this, where you are unavoidably put into places with definitely people you don't like, suck it up, buttercup. Even if you've got an issue, figure out how to not have an issue for the 8 hours you're there. Just figure that out. Y'all can talk about it later.
Right. I mean, I work with people who I don't like, but so what? I am not at work to make friends, and I'm not going to not get my paycheck because I don't like someone or they don't like me. That is ridiculous, and I'm not doing it. But on the other hand, too, I am not going to not go to my family's house because of this one person who I don't have any interaction with. Now, if it was a volatile situation and every time we saw each other, it was, fist on fist, every time we saw each other, on site, we were fighting. That's a different story. That's just way too much commotion. You bring it to your in-laws' house and you shouldn't be doing that. But if, it's just the thought of seeing her, knowing, something that happened. Yeah, I agree with Don Teasy. She hasn't gotten over it. She hasn't gotten over it. And she does blame the woman because she's mad and wants to know what to do. About what? About this woman going where she wants to go? That's really the main point. What do you do? Something about what? What is there? My question is, what is there to do? What do you mean? What should you do? Nothing. Leave that woman alone. Or get rid of the man. If you got rid of the man, then you wouldn't be going to the folks' house anyway. So make up your mind, sis. What you gonna do? What you gonna do?
Well, what she needs to do is go seek therapy. I swear to God, that's we have that result in like almost every one of these. But that's what you need, because, and I don't mean individual therapy, although fine, do that too, but y'all need some relationship therapy, because you need to really figure out whether or not you can actually not just back burner this cheating issue, right, for the sake of the family or whatever, but whether or not you can honestly forgive him, because part of forgiving him is getting over it. Right? This has to not impact you to this extent anymore. You have to not feel threatened by any new threat. If some random supermodel, hot as hell, that he's never seen before, whatever, walks in and is actively trying to pursue him, no matter how many times you say, hello, I'm his wife, mother of his children, or whatever. And she goes, yeah, you told me. I still want your man, right? You need to be secure enough with your man that if your man speaks to her, you know he's not crossing any lines. You know he's not taking no number. He's not going to let her do anything untowards. And if she tries, he's going to take it as a sign of disrespect to his woman, and he won't be okay with it. You have to feel that way. If you don't feel that way about your man, right, then that is an issue of trust within your relationship. That has nothing to do with this woman. Y'all need to go and figure out whether or not you can really ever get over it. Because if you can't, it's going to show up in other ways. This is just one chick, right? But so this got triggered, right? Because I'm guessing, based on the letter, I'm guessing from the time they broke up, right, and got back together, either this girl hasn't been at the family get-togethers, or she hasn't, or, and so this is the first time she walked in and, oh, this girl's here. Okay. And from here now, that whole entire paranoia and fear and all of those memories are going to come up. And now she's going to be watching his Facebook and watching his messages and watching his movements in the mall and watching his this and watching his this. And everything is going to soon become very suspect, right? And she's going to start seeing signs of cheating everywhere. Because if you look hard enough for something, you're going to find the evidence of it. And in the case of a cheater, once a cheater, always a cheater. If you look hard enough for that evidence, you're going to find it, even if it's not true. So that's where, to me, I'm like, nah, y'all need counseling then. And you need to figure out, should you guys have gotten back together? Should you be together? Should you just be co-parents? Can you ever get past this? Because without trust, it's not really a relationship.
That's true.
True.
I mean, I've been in a situation where, I've been the ex-girlfriend who's, still has great ties with the family. I don't have an ex-boyfriend that I, don't have a friendship with. It wasn't this, bad thing and I'm never speaking to you again type thing. And, I've had situations, where, the current, girlfriend, wife, or whatever she may be, may, feel some type of way, but we were adults. I acted very oblivious to it. It is not my place to go and confront this woman. Hey, well, I think you have a problem. I am not doing that. I could care. Those are her issues and she's got to figure it out. As long as she doesn't get in my space and is disrespectful with me and, causes a big scene, everything is fine. But like I said before, at some point, you get a man and you're not going to be at your ex-man's family's, get together. You have your own life. You can only spread yourself so far. You won't be able to go to everybody's. But let's say, you are single and, his mom invites you over and you guys always had a great relationship. You're going to go and there shouldn't be a problem with it. If he has a wife and bringing her and whatnot, that woman has to get over it. She has to get over it. She has to make her way. But like I say, that woman should not be considered a threat because she will eventually move on and do her own thing. Now, what you don't want is you don't want to be involved with a petty woman. A lot of people can be petty. And if she knows she's getting under your skin, she may do certain things to actually continue to get under your skin. Don't let another human being have that type of control over you. You don't even sleep with that woman and you're letting her get into your head like that.
Yeah. You know what? I'm so glad you brought up the petty woman. It reminded me of a story. So very early on in dating this one guy, basically we were at a bar, right? And so it was kind of like, okay, the situation was that we are both bar folk. Okay. And what I say bar folk to mean you have a million friends that all exist at the bar. You see each other every day at the bar. You might not know these people outside of the party context, but in the party context, these are your best friends in the world. All right, cool. And so, I'd introduced him to my bar folk and he was introducing me to his bar folk, right? Because we're all going to be bar folk together, right? And so now I knew all of his boys kind of, right? And one of them had this, a little sister that he had known since she was actually very, very young. And now she's like legal age-ish. Well, she's close enough to legal age that, she doesn't get carded anymore. so she could drink at the bar, whatever. And she's at this bar. Now, remember, he's never touched this girl ever. Never, like, nothing, because this is his boy's little sister, right? Like, he'll be a protector for her and stuff, bounce other guys away and whatnot, try to keep his friend from killing boys who try to hit on his sister. But other than that, never mess with this girl ever, right? But the girl sees me, and I'm fresh meat. I'm a new person, so she's going to try to do something, because I figured that out about her, especially when she was young, right? She was very much like that. Like, I'm going to show you I can do whatever I want. And especially because of the kind of person her brother was, where he's kind of like a kingpin, she really felt entitled to do whatever she wanted to whoever she wanted, and just show that she had that power. Now, if I was a more insecure person, maybe this would have went very badly, but I'm not. And so she decided to sit on, okay, so there weren't a lot of seats, and, my man is sitting down in the booth, but one of his legs is kind of outstretched, right? And I'm sitting on the other side of the booth, and she sits on, like, his leg that's outstretched.
Oh,
right?
hell no.
Oh, no. But remember that for him, this is like a little sister, right? Like, she's much, much younger than us. It's not like it was like, oh, it's a 2-year difference. He doesn't see her, right? So she needs somewhere to sit, whatever. He would rather her sit here than on some random dude's lap, right? He doesn't care. And then he doesn't realize what she's doing to me. He looked at me to see if I was good. I gave him, I don't care. Right? So then he went back to what he was doing. But she looked at me with devil eyes. And then she started doing this, like, wiggle thing with her bum. And he looked down, and he looked at me, and he went, like, ugh. And he said something to her. I could see it, right? And I could see her looking at me and sticking out her tongue and doing all kinds of stuff, like I can get you, man. Like, I know who you are, dummy. So I know that this means nothing, right? But that's what she was expecting. She was expecting that to work, because it does work. Because there are girls who do things like that. They've never even had nothing with your man, but they will go out of their way to make you think that they have, to get you to fight with them or with your man over her, so she can feel special today.
Yep.
Right? Now,
That
I went
disrespectful.
right? And it was funny, because all I did, you know what I did? I cheersed her. I went, like, lifted my beer and went, did the cheers thing. And then, and then I just went back to the conversation, and she stopped almost immediately. And so she became like a little sister to me too, right? And so I figured out her game. But the point is that women do that. So if you're going to be in any kind of long-term relationship, like, you got to recognize you can't be that triggered by your man speaking to a woman, whether he's ever had sex with that woman or not, whether that sex was in relation to an affair with you or not. Because unless he's only had sex with 1-2 people and you're one of them, you might come across lots of people he slept with in your lifetime together.
Okay.
You might come across a lot, right?
Now, I agree with that, Ruby, but I have an issue when we start talking about rubbing your ass on the thigh of my man. At that point, it gets downright disrespectful, because I know if a dude gave me a hug and he like hugged me so he could really get a good feel of my breast in front of my man, that's not flying. That is blatant. It is blatant, like a slap in your face. Yeah, I'm on your woman's titties type of thing. Or I got my woohoo on your man's leg and it's hot. I know he can feel the warmth through his pants. You know what? That is just downright disrespectful. And I would have expected him to say, oh, nah, bro, you got to stand up. You need to stand up.
Oh, no, he did say something to her, remember?
Okay.
And she stopped. She was making faces at me, though. He can't see her face because she's facing me.
But I agree with you. I wouldn't have said anything to her, but it would have been to him, you need to fix that like a freaking sap. Capital ASAP. You need to fix that, because that is just downright disrespectful. It is downright disrespectful. She knew it was disrespectful, and then for her to give you that look, that is disrespectful. And
well, see, but think about it this way, Vonda. Right? To me, right? Is it disrespectful if a 6-year-old, and I'm being really serious, right? If a 6-year-old sits on your man's, like, not like near his, like, junk area, but closer to his knee, and then wiggles around to get comfortable. Is that disrespectful when a 6-year-old does that to your grown ass man? Well, no, because that's a child. She's just shifting, right?
Yeah.
So I know.
She knew what she was doing.
Oh no, she knew what she was doing to me, not to him. See, that was the trick. She didn't know I knew who she was. She didn't know I know that she's a baby, and to her and to him, that's not a thing. That could never be a thing. It would never be a thing. Would never occur to either of them because she's a baby, right? Like, but see, she didn't know I knew. So she figured, oh, I'm just some random chick, this is maybe our first date. I don't know nothing about her, whatever. And I'm going to assume, A, that she's grown, because she really thought she looked grown. She thought she looked a lot older than she did, honestly. But I'm going to think she's grown, and I'm going to think that my man likes her, right? Like, that's what she thought she was doing to me. She's a little girl playing a game, right? And she thought she was getting under my skin and into my head because A, I couldn't see that she was a little girl, that he didn't notice her at all, right? This was not a sexual, it was the faces she's making at me. If you took away the faces, she just literally adjusted herself because she sat down in an uncomfortable position. She had to move a little bit, but she was making faces at me, right? To try to make it seem like it's super sexual, but you see that, right? But see, that's what I'm saying. This is how women play with each other, right? And then we think our man is thinking and seeing and feeling what we are perceiving with our eyes, and they aren't always, right? And then we put it on him. But see, like what I tell you, what's the first thing that happened? She sat on my lap and he looked at me. He wanted to see how I felt. So as long as I was okay, he's okay. Even though he would have been okay with it, if I wasn't okay and I gave him the a face like, what the hell? He would have been like, oh no, Tally, go sit down over there, right? But because I was okay, he's okay. Because this is not you know what I mean? This is a little sister, but if we need a bigger conversation, we'll do that. But I was fine. That's why he was fine. When she started doing too much and he could tell that's what she's doing, then he said something and she had to behave. She stopped moving, right? And then it wasn't fun. And eventually she got up and stormed off and went to the bathroom, whatever. But the point is, right, is that and this is the important part that you said. Your man showing you respect, right? Because that's what it's about. This woman might be the most disrespectful person on earth. Fine. Is your man showing you respect? Because that's all it comes down to. You can't account. It's not your man's fault if this woman wants your man. But what matters is, what is your man doing? Right? And your man knowing you and not crossing boundaries you and your man have set. And unless conversation is a boundary, like you are not allowed to talk to women you are not related to, then what boundary did he cross that she is so mad about? That's it. That's what I want to know.
Yeah, could it be something else? Good, it's a good question.
This is why I said we don't have more. I want to know, right? Did he pull her in close? Was it a hug that lasted too long? And then they looked at each other longingly for a moment, and then she walked in and they jumped apart, right? Yo, tell me something, because I don't understand.
It wasn't none of that. I mean, no, it wasn't any of that. It was just he was talking to her. That's all that was. I was at a funeral once. I mean, not a funeral. We were meeting at my boyfriend's house because of a funeral, and he was talking to his ex-girlfriend. Okay. She knew the person that passed away. What I'm going to do? I'm not going to do anything. He didn't disrespect me. He just having a conversation with her. When he was done, he sat down. That was the end of that. The end. I didn't question him, try to interview him. Okay, what did she say? What did you say? What was her body temperature? How did her breath smell? Not asking all them questions. He didn't disrespect me, and just having a conversation. Someone had passed away that they knew. They had a conversation. That was it. And it wasn't long. Wasn't any holding hands, nothing. So that's why I said it's just being immature. Now you
Right.
gotta think too, she had the baby with her.
Right.
What was going on there? Because I kind of pictured it. I'm like, I wonder, did she was she holding the baby tighter when she saw him talking to her? I actually was thinking about that. How did that go?
Me too.
I just think that's just too much to worry about. I'm not gonna worry about it. I'm not gonna worry myself with it. You know, if if he, speaks to her and he's cordial to her, that's fine. You go right ahead. There's nothing left for this woman to do but to get over it, especially if she accepted the man back, she needs to get over it or don't go to any more family functions. Um, it comes to a point where, you have to realize, you do not control your partner. A man does not control his woman, a woman does not control her man because he cheated on her and didn't consult her about it one way or the other. He didn't let her know what he was doing, but somehow or another
Mm,
she found out and she didn't like what she found out. And if he wants to do it again, guess what, baby girl? There's nothing you can do about it. The only thing you can do is choose to walk away if you find out again, you know?
And it
right.
might not even be the same woman if he was to do it again. And we
True,
don't know the circumstances, that's the other thing.
Mm-hmm.
true.
Trust me, I've been in enough relationships with scandalous whores to know that more often than not, when they cheat multiple times, it's never with the same woman. Um, right? If they're cheating like for multiple times with the same woman, it's all in one long extended affair normally, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
um because once, especially like if you're into that cheating lifestyle, I guess you could call it, then the fun of it wears off when you are caught. And it's not about the fact that you got caught cheating overall, so it stops at cheating, but that person is no longer a secret, right? So you need to go find a new secret to hold.
Hmm.
So therefore she's no fun anymore. And given the fact that she's got connections to the sister and the family and whatever, there's a good chance, if anything, she definitely wouldn't want to risk that, by being known as the woman who regularly does this. Being the one who slipped up once is very different than being the one who did it again and again and again and again. So I mean, but again, I'm not trying to take up for the woman, right? I mean,
Mhm.
because you slept with someone's man, that doesn't make you, woman of the year or anything. But it doesn't matter. Like that's my point. It doesn't matter. She could be a scandalous whore or not. All I want to know is your man. Your man. How much do you trust that man? Um, do you believe that man would never cheat on you again? Are you blaming it all on someone other than that man? Because again, the only person who matters in your relationship, insofar as an affair goes, is a person who broke a promise to you.
Yep.
That's it. I've never cared about the people. Like I remember once, one of the people that my ex cheated on me with, I actually saw her, um, and like he worked with her. I actually knew her, and it was a really weird situation because I was apparently there at the time that this little thing went on, um, at least one of the times. And so I guess she found out that I knew. So when next time I saw her, she came up to me and she was like, hey, and she was this white girl, a really big white girl, and her whole face, her arms, her everything was just turning beet red and stuttering and playing with their hands and whatever. And I just wanted to talk to you because yeah, I really don't give a shit. And she was like, what? No, okay, I'm sorry. You want to tell me how sorry you are, and how shamed you are, and how it's so not like you, and how you don't know what got into you, maybe blame it on the alcohol. I don't care. I could not care less why you did what you did, and I don't care that you're sorry. We're not friends. And she's like, but I thought we were cool. No, no, sorry, honey, you misunderstand me. We aren't friends. Do you have my phone number? No, I don't have your phone number either. I don't work with you. I don't know anyone that's connected to you other than people who are directly connected to my man or my ex-man, I guess at the time, right? The only thing I know about you is you're a cashier at this department store that my man worked at, that allows guys who have girlfriends to fondle them in a backyard at a very busy party where anyone could come at any moment at all. You're that kind of girl. I don't care. Like, what does that have to do with me, right? If you try to date like, one of my best male friends, I'm gonna have an issue with it because I think you're that kind of girl, and I'm gonna tell them the story. But other than that, I couldn't care less. Like, it doesn't matter to me. I don't hate you. Like, it's just, you don't owe me anything. The person who owed me something, like, told you it was okay for you guys to do what you're doing to me. He told you it was okay. Why? Because he's the one who made a promise to me. He's the one who owed me something, and he's the one who did this anyway. So therefore, he implicitly told you that it was okay. He told you that it was okay for this to happen in my relationship. And you went along with it, sure, but it couldn't have happened if he didn't do it. If he didn't say it was okay, right? That's it. Even if you were drunk and came on to him, I don't care who came on to who. I don't care whose fault it was. It doesn't matter to me, because I have been in that situation. I'm a woman. So I've been in that situation countless times where I've been in a relationship, guy comes on to you. I am the gatekeeper. I blocked it or not. That's what it comes down to, right? If it happened, it's because I didn't block it, right? So that's all it comes to. That's the only person I blame, is the person who owes me something, who didn't say, sorry, bruh, not gonna happen.
I agree with you. I
True.
totally agree.
Well, it just makes me wonder if this is his first, instance with cheating, or the first that she's found out about. Or do they have a reoccurring theme of cheating in the relationship, and this just happens to be, a chick, one of the chicks she knows about. That's what they're leaving out. Like you guys are saying, the letters are getting shorter and shorter. That's something that I would want to know. Has he done this before? And if he has done this before, then that would be a little bit more information that I would have, and I would tell her, then you maybe need to think about not being in this relationship. Because if he's done it before, it's hard enough to get past one instance of cheating. And then to have it happen again, and who knows how many times. It's like, well, obviously he's on a roll here, and he can't, he's not ready for, a committed relationship. So why would I want to continue to keep putting myself through this, second guessing myself and looking at every woman, like she's a stanko because she slept with my man? And it's like, well, honey, if he was your man, he wouldn't be, slinging it to everyone else.
Also think about the fact that they now have a 1-year-old and they're living together. So how long or how much time went past after this that she decided, okay, let's live together, and then the child comes?
Right. Yep. That's a big question. Yeah. Why did they get back together? Did you break up with him when you found out, and then only to find out, oh, I'm pregnant. So then you got back together? Like, what happened there? That's a good question. I mean, people decide to even, and I know that, there's a lot of talk in the streets about, the era of the shotgun wedding, with times were simpler and better, and I don't think they were, because, marrying someone just because, you got them in trouble, quote unquote, doesn't make for a happy life, a happy household, a happy relationship. Definitely doesn't make for faithful partners. Love, respect, any of those things that you kind of want for, one of your children, let's say, in a relationship. So, I mean, if that's what happened, and it was like, okay, well, since I'm pregnant, well, then now you got to be with me. Almost like, well, now since you gave me HIV, now you got to be with me. Like, that's like, like a baby is not like a lifelong deadly disease. It's a child. Sure, it's a lifelong thing, but that doesn't mean now you're stuck with the person who gave you the baby, even though you broke up before you found out about the baby, and you broke up because this person broke their vows to you in a way, and you'll never be able to trust them again, because you'll still never be able to trust them again. True. So then what are you doing there? Just It's just like, it's still not a relationship. Um, and to be fair, and I gotta say, hey, listen, once a cheater, always a cheater. I do tend to believe that's true in a particular relationship. So I feel like if someone cheats on you once, that same person will cheat on you a billion times, even if they will not cheat on the next chick, um, for a variety of reasons. But that doesn't mean that they're necessarily like a bad person or whatever. I do think that it has something to do with the dynamics of that relationship kind of being broken already. And I don't really think that there's a way that you can properly overcome it, but it happens. It does happen. People say at least it happens. Fine. Again, it comes down to fine. Maybe it does happen. Maybe you trust and believe that your man is one of those ones, one of those situations where it happened. My question would be, if it happened where you think this was a one-off, one in a million, it's never going to happen again, and that's why I'm trusting him again. My question is, what changed? So in that time you guys broke up and got back together because now you can trust him again or whatever, right? What changed? Did he do something? Did he change something about his life, about what he's doing in his life? I don't know, maybe he stopped drinking or doing drugs or smoking weed, or he, started seeing a therapist, or he resolved his issues with his mama. Like, did something change
Mhm.
dramatically in this man's life that makes you think that, because nothing changes if nothing changes.
Right.
So, like, I want to know that too. Like, think about that very carefully, since we can't really ask you. But if nothing changed, then nothing changed. And that doesn't mean, of course, he's sleeping with that random girl from Thanksgiving. It just probably more means that, he might still be sleeping with someone that's not you, period.
Mm.
Because
Now,
that's how he deals with
that
things.
that's something for her to worry about. I mean, my thing is I would just hope that the reason he slept with her is because she's his ex and he does, have, still somewhat of a bond, and he just not randomly just out sleeping, with chicks. It's like, oh, if it wasn't her, it would have been somebody else. I mean, do you ladies believe that, men are, as, faithful as their options? We hear that all the time. Or were they just in the right place at the right time, at the right moment? It was like, hey, you want to get it in? Sure, let's go for it. You know, it's like, wait a minute.
Well, it depends on the man. So, um, it just depends on the man, and you be with him long enough, you'll figure out who he is, if that's the type of guy he is. But again, once you find that out, what are you going to
Mm.
do? You going to stay? Is that going to be a deal breaker? What?
Mm,
Well, I don't know. I guess you have to decide what your priorities are, though, too, right?
Yeah.
But again, really decide and then commit to what those priorities are. So, for example, as I regularly say, and people disagree with me, but fidelity is not my number one concern. It's not. I would take
honesty.
honesty and openness
Yeah.
over fidelity any day. Yeah, see? Even Vada, I didn't have to
I
finish the
know. She's
sentence.
like, honesty.
Honesty.
I
Because
need for you to tell me when you're gonna be,
Tell me what you want.
yes, right? I really would rather the honesty. And that's why I've been cheated on. It's not like I've never been cheated on. Never, not like I never held previous ideals. It's just I realized in that whole entire thing where someone cheated on me that the cheating itself was not the problem. It was the lying. It was the sneaking around and the lying and the hiding things from me and me feeling stupid because it's like I'm the only one who doesn't know. That feeling. That was the issue. The actual cheating never bothered me over much. Now that's for me personally. For other people, it does. I'm not, whatever floats your boat, but I'm saying figure that out about yourself. Figure out what your priorities are in a relationship and from a person. Figure out who he is, and what his priority, whether he's willing to voice them openly and honestly or not. Figure out what they are, and then decide whether or not that's right for you, because that's what it is. Because people can only be who they are, so you can only accept them
Yes.
for who they are, not for who you hope that you can change them into being one day. Like, he's never going to become someone else. So if he's the kind of guy where, if a situation arises and there's a little bit of alcohol as an excuse, he's going to do it, and that's the kind of guy he is. But he's a great father, and otherwise he's a great spouse and a great provider, and he does the laundry, you know, and he does the dishes, and he and all these other great things. But hey, he's got a chance, he's gonna slip it into someone, but he always uses protection, right? And that's who he is. Decide if that's something you for real can be happy with and live with. And if it's not, go choose someone else. Because what you can't do is change him. Because that's who he's going to be, at least with you, because that's who he is here. You've told him that that is acceptable to you by staying with him.
Yep.
And he's going to continue being that person with you for the length of your relationship forever.
True. True.
Yeah.
Very true.
And then I think also with, you know, the fact that they do have a young child, that does, you know, play into it. I mean, these are, you know, little small things that, you know, that make a difference. You know, would she have even taken him back had she not had the child? You know, or did she take him back, you know, after she found out she was pregnant with the child and she was going to continue on with the pregnancy? You know, it's like, and I don't want to be all willy-nilly with the relationship and try to make it work. So, you know, we have this kid, you know, and everybody, quote unquote, always has this fairy tale of, you know, I want my child to grow up in a intact home, you know, with two parents. And, you know, so she may be thinking in terms of that rather than just working through her insecurities, because she has insecurities.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, a woman thinks, you know, just because her man cheated on her, that there's something wrong with her, when, you know, she could look like Beyonce and he's gonna go and stick it in, you know, someone that looks like not a Beyonce, the opposite of a Beyonce.
Girl,
you know, that happens all of the time.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just really just a matter of where her securities are, and, you know, what type of relationship the two of them have. You know, and you know what, no one's perfect, no man is infallible. You know, they make mistakes, and that's just what it is. You know, it's just a matter of, you know, are you going to choose to, you know, forgive that mistake, and, you know, can we go on from there? And, you know, what is he doing to, you know, make amends for that? You know, obviously he didn't take the woman and tongue kiss her down right in front of his woman, but I mean, he didn't cause a scene either, you know, and treat her like dirt, you know, obviously, to where the whole family's like, what the hell's wrong with James? He's all tripping. What is he? Why he acting like that with her? You know, putting all your business out there like that. So he was cordial. He spoke to her, you know.
Right.
Yeah. Maybe ask about the dog and the cat. Okay. Now what?
Right. Again,
he's still going home with you. Go ahead.
I feel like if the talking was in any way suspicious, she would have made sure to add it in. So she would have added that detail. They were talking by themselves privately in a corner, cuddled up in the you know, in the corner of a couch. She would have, if there was some type of anything that would make us look side eye at the talking itself, she would have made sure to put those details in. I really do feel that that's the case. So if she described it, you could have thought it was a couple cousins talking, an auntie and a nephew talking, something like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, it was for sure not in any type of context where they were abnormally alone, where they were abnormally close, where they were doing anything that was too untoward or shady or giggly or something. So in and of itself, her only concern was the fact that yes, he has slept with her, you know, cheated on his woman with this woman, and now he's physically speaking to this woman instead of acting like she's dead. Which in and of itself, if that was what we're supposed to do, then I want to know, to the lady who wrote the letter, did you pretend that that woman's dead, or did you actually like greet her and speak to her if you were forced to because you're in the same room? But I want to know.
She didn't talk to that lady. I'm gonna tell you that right now. She did not speak to that woman. She didn't talk to that woman. She didn't look at her, and she probably, you know, shot some daggers at her with her eyes, but she did not speak to that woman. No, There's no way, shape, or form.
See, but then that to me makes me feel like then going to that place where okay, something happened where basically she was called out for her behavior. And then her saying, well, I'm totally justified to feel the way I feel and to have reacted the way I did that night because blah, 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 blah. Right. And so now what she's looking for is reinforcement that we would have done the same thing. We would have been furious as hell. The fact that you just this, girl, that makes you the most person in the world. Right. Like, I feel like that is almost like what she was hoping we were going to say, because then it would justify, how she did react. So I maybe intentionally rude, intentionally discourteous. So like, let's say she's the one who's sitting with the bread next to her. And then, this chick says, could you pass the bread, please? Blah, blah, blah.
And she
And
threw
then she
it at her.
pretended, no, she just pretended she couldn't hear. Right. And then someone else says, oh, can you pass the bread, dear? And then, or can you pass the bread to this woman, please, dear? And then she picked up the bread and passed it to the person who asked, not to the woman, right? Like, just very obvious slap in the face kind of stuff. Whereas just in case nobody knew before that your man has slept with this woman, they know now, like that, right? At the very least, I feel like at the very least, she was disrespectful as hell. And she made the air very thick and very full of tension. And that is a very discourteous thing to do, in my opinion. Not to the woman who slept with your man, but to the family member's house that, hosted. Yeah, right? To everyone else there. It's a very discourteous thing to do. Pull yourself together or go home.
Selfish. It's very selfish because the family has absolutely nothing to do with this entanglement. Nothing to do with it. So don't be dragging the family into your messiness, it's just
exactly.
It's crazy. And then on top of that, she took this man back, and I guarantee she probably found every reason to be mean as hell to him when they got back home. He got the cold shoulder, the cold elbow, the cold neck, the cold knee. He got cold back. He got everything cold. He probably got a cold TV dinner because she was pissed because she can't believe he spoke to that bitch. Because that's now she's no longer Stephanie. She's that bitch.
That bitch. She's never been Stephanie. She's always been that bitch.
Poor lady.
Oh.
I just, for me, I like to stay in character. And I feel like when a person pulls me out of character, I'm like, damn, they won. I can't believe it. You put me on, like puppet strings, and you made me, rock out to your own tune. And I cannot stand that. And and that's where my petty works in reverse, to where you won't get the reaction from me that you want. I'd be damned. I would bite my tongue off before you got the reaction from me that you wanted. And you just be sitting there thinking like, damn, did she see what I did? I was talking to James, and he was just laughing. Like, girl, I don't care. You go right ahead, because if James dipped back into that, I'm gone. Me and James Jr., we out of here. And that's just what it is.
See? But now you understand, right? Now I understand you be mad at your man. It's a difference. But now you understand my overt reaction to little Miss Tally, right? Oh, you want me to be angry? No. Gotcha.
If she's a child, you'd be like, oh, okay, you know what, little girl? I will show you better than I can tell you. So let me just, demonstrate how, a grown-ass woman acts.
Right, exactly.
Because if you're lucky, you'll reach this age, and hopefully you'll know how to act.
Right. Because the way I see it is this: I came here with a man because I got a man, and you came here alone because you're trying to borrow mine. So which one of us is better, you or me? Oh, okay. I'll wait. You think girl? I'm gonna go get my man to buy me a drink. Have fun buying yourself one. Okay, right? I mean, but see, this is the thing. Again, and unfortunately, there is a lot of this gameplay. There's almost like this glamorization of being the side chick on TV and the media, even like they got their own TV shows now, everything, right? You being a side chick, basically being a hoe. Hey, that can now
Mm.
get you on reality TV and worshipped, and thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of fans. So I do think that there is a slight problem now, where it is being encouraged and glamorized to be a side chick so much that it's making those of us who are on the other side of that paranoid, right? Where we really think that every girl who isn't, one of our girls, I can't vouch for you personally, where she wants to be the side chick. Like, that's a glamorized position now. That's something everyone is fighting to be. They can't wait to be someone's, backup plan. Someone's, when I'm not available plan. Like,
And it's a
that's
petty thing. The whole thing is a petty thing because it's more of like a, haha, when he's not with you, he's with me, and guess what we're doing? And you know what? That's really petty, it's immature, and it's mean. And it actually makes not, you're trying to make her look like a fool, but chick, how do you think that makes you look?
mm-hmm.
You know,
Right.
I'm quote unquote, the woman that he has, maybe the wife, she's sitting in a position that you wish you had, but you want to be the wife that's being cheated on. Because don't think, if I walk away from this or the woman walks away from this and then you're sitting in these shoes, he's not going to be doing the same thing with the next woman.
Right.
What
Yep.
makes you think you're going to be absolved from, having any type of side chickness in your world? It's called karma. You sat up there and were the side chick, and you were proud of being the side chick, and you did everything that you could for her to find out, because the job of the side chick, she wants the woman to find out so that she can leave, so she can have this cheating dog all to herself,
Right.
which
Yep.
he's just gonna go and find another place to put his penis. I mean, it's
Mm-hmm.
like he's not fit. This type of man is not fit to be putting his penis in only one woman. He has
No.
a woman, but you're the side chick. He's putting his penis in you. Now, let's not, we won't even go to the other story of, you're probably not the only one. You just happen to be the main side chick, but, he still has random one night stands still,
Right.
that could care less and don't want to be the side chick. They're just that chick for 3 hours,
Mm-hmm.
So you get into the position of the main chick, and he goes out and he gets himself another side chick. I mean, it's just a perpetual thing, with this type of a dude.
Yep. Exactly. But you decided that this is what you want, like, for your life. See, that's the thing I don't get. And I don't get it from whether you're the side chick or one who just takes back the guy who gets the side chick. I don't understand, like, why do you want this guy? Like, why do you want this life? I don't get it.
Right.
Like to me, and again, right, given my stance, y'all might be like, oh, well, in that case, Ruby would never leave anyone for infidelity. Well, again, I would if you were lying about it, because if you're lying about it, right, then that means you're not sorry, right? You're not taking accountability for it. You're maybe even getting kicks from the fact that you're getting one over on me, right? So then in a way you are doing this as something against me. Even if it's, I wasn't trying to hurt you. Well, no, you weren't trying to hurt me. You were, getting your kicks from the fact that you could fool me. And I would never find out because you're so clever, which is just grosser. So either way, to me, if I found out that, okay, like with Mr. Man, when I found out that I was very, very right, and my suspicions were confirmed that in fact, the whole time I thought he was cheating, he was in fact cheating with way more people than I even thought he was cheating with. Definitely all the times I had booked it, he really was. Now, with that being said, what did I do? I left him.
Mm-hmm.
I literally left him that day. Now, I stayed seeing him like every day, but we were broken up officially, right? And why was that? Because it's just like, no, I can't trust you. If I can't trust you, what the hell am I doing trying to be with someone like you? That doesn't make any sense to me. Like, to me staying with him was, A, first of all, giving him permission to do this for the rest of his life. B, what it was doing is telling him and the world, every single person who knew he had done this, so every single one of those chicks or whatever, that I don't love and respect myself, that I don't value and cherish myself. So as a result, obviously neither does my man. And that's the way I saw it. And I couldn't get around that idea that not only would I allow myself to be with someone who didn't value, love, cherish, respect, so on and so forth, me, but that the whole world would know that that's what it was. Yeah, so no, I could not do it. And I don't understand women who are willing to forego that. I don't get it. I'm sorry. I don't. And I understand it might sound hypocritical given some of the things that I've said, but like, because I have stayed with people who have cheated on me, but it's different
Mhm.
because, like, okay, so for example, I have stayed with someone who's cheated on me, and they cheated on me in the context of drug addiction. So when they were off the wagon, so to speak, right?
Mhm.
They sex, drugs, and rock and roll. That's what it is. Which is why to me then it became very, very important that they stay sober. So I will be with you, but if you fall back off the wagon, you go back on drugs or alcohol, I'm not gonna be with you anymore because I know what that means. That means you're not even gonna be smart enough to wrap it up all the time and whatever, because you're just riding some ridiculous rock and roll wave. Like, I'm not willing to endanger my life that way,
Yeah.
almost, right? Or I've stayed with people who've cheated, but they've come and they've told me, and we've talked it out. Okay, what the hell is wrong with our relationship that you felt this was necessary? Or what the hell's going on in your life that you felt this was necessary? Or, you made this decision. Let's talk about it. What do we need to work through? What do we need to work on? All right, let's do that. Maybe make some pledges to each other. Maybe we had just forgotten each other. We had let our relationship become so backburnered that it almost didn't exist. And it's like, yeah, what? We haven't had sex in a long time, and we don't really talk to each other anymore, do we? No, we don't really date anymore, do we? No, man, we both got so busy. And it's, what? And then it's
Right.
like, all right, let's recommit to each other. Let's see if we can work this out. So if you come to me and you want to apologize, you want to do something about it, and you're being honest, okay, then that's something I can work with, right? But like this kind of situation where it's like, I had to find you out, and then it was this whole big melodrama, and tears were shed, and da da da, and now years later I still gotta distrust you, just make sure you never see that woman ever again, because I know then you'll just trip and fall and land right back inside of her. Nah. I don't
No,
get it. Mm-mm.
that's doing too much. Yeah, I'm with you on that. But,
Yeah.
a lot of times in relationships, you have it where there's some infidelity, and just using the word just because, that's what we're kind of talking about. I get it that you not married and people look at it differently. I get that, so that's fine. But I'm just saying that when certain things can happen, and it happened to women as well. You can be vulnerable. You're not feeling that you have something to do or enough attention from the guy, and you get a little attention over there, you sleep with somebody. It can happen. Same thing with a man. He's vulnerable as well. He's not getting attention or whatever it is that's missing in his life. He want a little thrill. It
Mm,
can happen. But
yeah.
as you're saying, you talk about it, you talk it out, and decide, okay, this is what we're going to do. Um, we're going to, keep going. Okay, let's do this. Let's make some
Mhm.
changes.
Right.
But I'm with you on that hiding and sneaking and all that. I'm not
Mhm.
interested. No, thank you.
Nope. Nope. And another thing is too, I always found, and so this is why, it's for the same reason why I was always scared of men who were on the DL, but that, and I understand the community I live in, so I understand not everyone believes in bisexuality. I do. um I was always okay with the idea of dating a man who was bisexual, but not one that's on the DL. And I'll explain why, because it comes with the same concept. The concept is this: accountability. If you have to get yourself rip roaringly drunk for you to then go and engage sexually with someone else, right?
Mhm.
In order, because you want to sit there and live in denial, you want to be able to give yourself some type of psychological excuse, so on and so forth. To me, that means you're not effectively planning, shall we say, which means you're not going to wear condoms or bring condoms. You're not going to make sure you're safe and the other person's being safe and blah, blah, blah. Like all of those things that would mean that at the end of the day, you're for sure not going to maybe bring me home a whole bunch of diseases or whatever, right? And so I was
Mhm.
always so scared of that. I was scared of the fact that you have to keep drinking yourself into some oblivion, so you don't have to remember in the morning you gave in to your carnal temptations. You're going to come home, bring me home AIDS one day, right? Um, and it's the same concept to me. If you can't take any type of accountability for your behavior and for the fact that you want this relationship, but clearly it's not working to the point where you have to keep reaching out outside of me, then whether it's gay or straight, it just comes down to me, you're putting yourself in a bunch of risky situations. I feel like you have to keep doing it. You have to keep drinking yourself drunk so that way you have some excuse that you can give yourself. You're not a bad person. You were just drunk. That's what you tell yourself. So you don't have to think about it too hard. But you know what? Drunk people forget to wear condoms. Drunk people bring home babies from outside of the relationship, or diseases or whatever. So then I find out I have pelvic inflammatory disease because now gave me something a year and a half ago and I trusted you because, it's only
Mhm.
been us as far as I
Right.
thought, right? So,
Right.
that to me, that stuff is really dangerous. And for women in reproductive health, it's super extra dangerous. And so, yeah, no, I was never willing to risk myself like that with people who could not at least, either know themselves or be accountable for their actions. I want to cheat, so I am going to cheat. And then I did that very consciously. I was very self-aware. I'm not proud of myself, but I'm aware. Okay, let's talk about it now so we can work through it. All right, cool. That's safer to me for everyone, especially me.
Well, I have a
Okay.
question for you, Ruby.
Hmm.
So, you say that, it's not the infidelity, it's the lying, and you know, being deceitful.
Yes.
Okay, so have you ever felt, in any of those situations where it's like, okay, he comes and he tells you, babe, I fucked up, I slept with, Joanne, and it only happened 3 times, but um, I just can't keeping this from you, and I just want you to know, because I love you and I want things to work out. I mean, in some, instance like that, I mean, have you ever felt like you wanted to like get even, or you felt like you had one saved up in case it happened for you, or, I'm just curious, where your head was at when it came to that.
Okay. So for me, I don't really I guess I don't see sex the same way I think maybe the average, population does. So casual sex to me is just gross anyway.
Mhm.
I mean, I created a whole relationship with a man I ended up marrying, all to be able to have casual sex with someone else, so that way I could get back together with the ex who cheated on me for 5 years, right? But I wanted to have revenge sex, and I couldn't even do it then. Couldn't do it. We broke up. I couldn't even do it then. Couldn't have casual sex. I literally created a whole relationship. I had to find someone I could like and, start, kind of falling for and do that whole entire nine for months to be able to sleep with the man. Um, and so I've never been one who's able to do that. And to be honest with you, once I slept with the guy that I was dating, you know what I mean? Even though I made it so clear I'm still in love with my ex and blah blah blah. And so even though I'm falling in love with you, I'm still in love with my ex. I'm gonna go back to my ex one day. And this whole thing. He's just working on himself right now. He'd actually even met my ex. Like I mean, we had
Mm.
all chilled. Me, my new boyfriend and my ex and his new girl he was dating. We had gone to several things together. Chilled at the bar because we both, me and my ex boyfriend had the same bar. We were, that we chill at every day. So sometimes we're gonna bump into each other. Um,
Mhm.
yeah. So like, even given that, I had to create an actual relationship. Like I actually had to get into a new relationship. And then once I slept with the new man, I could not go backwards. It means I could never sleep with my ex ever again because I was now sleeping with someone new. So I'm very monogamous, and it's not necessarily by choice. It's just something that happens inside of me. So once I'm sleeping with you, I'm sleeping with you. And if I sleep with someone new, I'm sleeping with that person, like going forward. I will never be able to go back and sleep with you. So if I were to do that, it would be because I'm moving on. Like I wouldn't be able to have a one off with some new guy, some random guy, and then be able to go back and ever sleep with my man again. Like to me, it just I don't know why my brain just doesn't work that way, or my body, or maybe it has something to do with the fact that I'm a demisexual, and so my sexuality is more tied to my emotionality and an emotional bond and connection with people than it is to physical cues.
Hmm.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know.
Okay.
I've always been abnormal. What can I say?
That's all right. It just
Mm,
makes you classy. Classic Ruby.
thank you. Thank you. Emphasis on classy. We'll say it that way. But no, but you know what? I know a lot of people who have said that they've done that. So I will tell you though, not intercourse, but when I was younger, when I was younger, when I was in the abusive relationship, now that man, every time that man did anything wrong to me, I got head from someone else. So I don't know. I guess that probably counts. Um, no, I did. I don't know, because for me, getting head,
Head
uh,
counts, Ruby. Head counts.
well, head does count, and to be fair, right, I wouldn't, that's why I said it was a very isolated, it was in that context of that abusive relationship. I don't
Mhm.
know why, and it was with an ex, interestingly enough. Yes, it was with an ex. It was with someone that I actually knew, deeply trusted, and I knew wouldn't hurt me. And so I think that it was like I was trying to smack back at him, but not because of cheating. It was because of abuse, right? Because of
Oh.
physical abusive things. So he did cheat on me. I never tried to get back at him for cheating on me. It was when he did something to physically hurt me. And then, I run and go and turn to someone else. And then, I get this kind of reprieve over here, and someone else makes me feel good without taking anything from me. I know he's not going to hold me down and do things terrible to me. He's not going to cross any boundaries I don't want crossed. You know what I mean? I can just have someone be all about me for and, until I get the big O, and then we're good. And I mean, I didn't only go for that. I mean, we hang out, drink, talk, other stuff, whatever. But yeah, that
Mhm.
absolutely did do that during the period of my abusive relationship. Eventually, during the abuse, which when the abuse stopped, actually that behavior stopped altogether. So I don't know what it is about that period, about my brain chemistry during that time. I was young. I mean, I was like 16. So I don't know what it was about that period of my life that made that kind of a possibility for me. But yeah, during that time I did. But again, it was only oral, like not even
Mhm.
like finger penetration. I don't know. It was not even kissing or making out. It was just oral. I don't know what it was. Yeah. Yep.
It was what it was. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let me
Yeah.
tell you, that still counts whether there was some penetration or any kissing at all.
No, I'm saying, I'm not saying, it's just like I didn't say, oh, well, I would go and make out with guys, or or I get fingered, or I would give them head, or whatever. I'm saying it was a very, very specific response that I had, and it was just this, right? So
Mhm.
like, it's not like, oh, I would have sexual acts with other people or make out sessions or whatever in response. It was
You were
this
just
one
looking for a
act
certain
that
yeah, you were
no,
looking
it's
for a certain outcome.
that particular act for me was almost like a band-aid, I think, at that point. And it was also a symbol of a time that I felt way more powerful, I guess, because like the first time I kind of understood that I had power over men was in getting head from someone that probably shouldn't have been giving me head. So and for me, that was the fun of like the joy of my life. So I think that's probably why for me it was a band-aid. that specific thing for me in my life was a band-aid, where I don't know, maybe for other people, maybe if intercourse was a band-aid and it was a time that made me feel super powerful, like again, if I had a different connection to intercourse, then maybe I would have, right? That's why I'm like, that's why I wanted to throw it in there and be like, you know what, I did have this. So,
Mhm.
you know, I'm not superwoman. I'm flawed, sometimes very deeply. Y'all know. So y'all know.
Yeah, I still keep thinking about the baby. I just, for whatever reason, I keep thinking about the child because, if mommy gonna be concentrating on this man having a conversation,
Hmm.
possibly every time he goes to his mother's house, no, that's you're gonna not pay attention to the child. You're gonna be just, I don't know, going through phones and uh, following up behind them. Once you start, because of insecurity, it just takes on another form and you just start doing some extra stuff. And that's what I'm concerned about because now you have
Hmm.
a young child involved.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that she doesn't do those things and there's nothing to do, as Vonda said. And, I did answer her the same way in the letter. There is nothing to do except for if you feel some kind of way, just listen to your instincts, not the fear part of it, just your instincts.
Hmm. Yeah. Yep. You know what I wish? I wish sometimes, every once in a while, I do wish that people could not like it was like forced on you, like if you don't take this course, they can take your kids necessarily, but that there was an early I took a really amazing early childhood education course, and I wish it was something that they would make automatically available, all of the lectures, all of the reading material and whatever, to parents. Um, because it's telling you not just about everything, the fetal gestation and all of that and whatever, but like anything, things that you don't even think about that have any bearing on your child, that have the massive bearing on your child. Again, these secure or insecure attachment styles, like I said, they actually have a major connection to personality traits in adults. We think that these things that babies and children forget and they have no conscious memory of, we think it's gone. And then there are strong connections to certain outcomes in adulthood. So, you think that right now you've got time to play with it. You think right now you've got time to misbehave and act badly, and it's not going to have any impact. And the research proves that you're wrong. So it's actually really, really important. These are some of the most important years of your child's life, these years that they don't remember. Some of the most important years, because they will never be able to identify a memory in therapy they can work through and blah, blah, blah to try to get to the other side of it, because they'll never remember it, but yet it will shape them. And so, with that in mind, recognize that the time that you think, oh, it doesn't matter what I expose them to, they won't remember, is literally the time that you need to be protecting them from some of this stuff the most, from your feelings, from your
Yeah.
when you're broke down, when you're anxious, when you're scared. Do you know how many things I am irrationally scared of now that I was not scared of, but at some point in adulthood or late teenhood I suddenly became scared of them for no good reason, and I can think back to my mom being scared of them.
Wow.
Yeah, like dogs. I was not actually scared of
Hmm.
dogs as a kid. Was not scared of. My mom was terrified of dogs, though. Terrified. And this is why, it really, like, just things like that. And as a kid, every kid does it. When you're seeing something new, you look back to your mommy or whatever. Is this okay? Right?
Right.
You are going by their body language, their heart rate, everything. And so again, like I said, this kid has no idea what little complex adult scenario you have in your head, right? All they know is that mommy is anxious and unhappy and sending out no, no, no signs with her body. What is
Yeah.
that relation to? Is that relation to family, to their cousins, to the foods that they're eating? What about this is horrible that they should avoid in the future? They don't know. but they're going to try their damnedest because that's what they need to do for survival.
And
Right.
you know what? That is very true. I mean, it's almost like that, scenario. I can remember being 14 and being at a concert. It was like a concert in the park. And, it was like a ton of people. This was in, Los Angeles. And it was just a lot of people, wall to wall people in this park. Then all of a sudden, you see all these people start running. And you saw the people running, so you start running. You have no freaking idea why the hell everybody is running. And then all of a sudden we stop and they're like, whew, what happened? Why was you running? I don't know. I saw you running, so I started running. It was so hilarious. I mean, and I just died laughing because what it was a man who had a snake around his neck. And one person saw it, was startled, started running. A whole crowd of people just started running. And this was like back in the 80s or whatever. It was so hilarious because I just saw mofos running and I said, oh, let me get my start because I don't know what's coming. I don't want to be in the back of the line. So let me just start running until we all got to what we thought was a nice, safe clearing. And
safe.
Like, hey, well, what happened?
Right.
I don't know. I saw you running, so I started running. Well, what the hell? And so, yeah, you're right. So if you notice, your mom, all of a sudden, as a kid, you see that she is definitely afraid of dogs, whereas you were not afraid of dogs. And you're like, okay, well, she's scared. What the hell? I better be scared too. What
Right?
what's going on over here? This dog might do something. So yeah, you will develop that fear. So that shit is very true.
Right?
Yeah.
Or like the fishbone thing. You and I were talking about this. How I'm deathly afraid of swallowing a fishbone. I used to eat like if anyone's ever had red snapper, that thing has about 1,000 billion teeny tiny bones, and I could eat a whole one in like 2 minutes when I was like 7, 8. I wasn't scared of that. My mother's own terror of getting a fishbone stuck in my throat. Of getting one stuck in her own throat made me so terrified that now I won't eat fish that has bones in it, even though I used to eat it and I used to love it. But I'm so scared of swallowing a fishbone, which it never happened to me, never choked on one, lots of life experience that told me this clearly is not going to happen to me. And, as you get older, you clearly get more careful and stuff, so I should be fine. But nope, I don't know. As I got older, I started developing an irrational fear of this fishbone. Now, my mom still eats lots of fish all the time. She ate fish all the time when I was younger, too. She's the one who used to feed it to me. My other parent didn't really eat fish like that, right? But yet she had this fear. Slow down, slow down. She wanted me to slow down. It's not that she wanted me to be terrified of eating fish, because she eats fish. She wanted me to slow down. She was scared that I was going to eat it too fast. But I think that in her thinking that I'm not really hearing her because, to her, I didn't perceivably slow down enough. She just kept reinforcing it and reinforcing it. And I was so reading her anxiety that, eventually I manifested that anxiety. And that's what it comes down to. Well, you're so terrified, you must have good reason. That's just what it is. And sometimes it's right? Sometimes that whole crowd is running because someone got shot and is running through the crowd, shooting people or stabbing people with AIDS needles. Yep, read about it. Carabana in Toronto. Both those things happened. Right? So the crowd's running because you should be running. When we started running because the crowd's running and no one knew why we were running. And then by the time we got to sit down on the train, then you get to look it up and you're like, oh, shoot, someone got shot. Damn. I didn't hear gunshots, but I saw people running, and I'm Black. So when they run, I run with them.
I'm like, all these Black folks running, I'm about to take off. I'm like, let me just get to the front because I don't want to be left behind. I don't know what's going on.
Yep. And tell you a hilarious story. So in case you think that whole rumor about how, Black people, when they see people running left, they'll run left. White people will start looking right to see why people are running. Right? So you think that might be a rumor. So one time we brought this girl with us to Carabana, right? She'd never been to Carabana. We told her to wear running shoes. She wore like 10-inch heels. Like they were so high. And we told her there's a lot of walking. Like the whole time you're going to be on your feet. There's nowhere to sit. And there's a lot of walking, marching, dancing. You will not be sitting. By the time we were getting to the end of the day anyway. This girl could, like, she was just walking in her bare feet in the downtown Toronto streets because it hurts. Fine. So then the crowd starts running, right? And so we're like, yo, we gotta go, right? So I'm pulling on her, and this idiot's trying to walk towards the people running, trying to look through it, trying to get on top of a fence, on top of a bench to try to look further that way. I say, what if you're making yourself a target for a gunman with a long range rifle? Get the hell attention, let's go, man. We almost left her too. Like she literally almost missed our car by like half a second. She was so close because we left her. We're like, okay, listen, you can stay here and die. You go find out. And then you know what? You can text me from the middle of the bomb scene and you let me know what it is you found out. I'll just go look on the internet. But thank you. Yeah. No, we're leaving. No, like it's so funny. It's that, you know, that horror movie thing. Yes, they really do it. They can't help themselves, right? Like, don't look there. No, they do it. As an aside, just so y'all know, it is not a rumor. It is not a rumor. Okay.
So you're a witness.
I am a witness, and I've seen it so many times, and it's funny because even when I was like, you know, a minority of, there's maybe 4 of us, right? And so I got to be fair. It's not necessarily a skin color thing, because people who were a variety of races but from the islands did the smart thing, right? People are running, you run with them, not against them. Right? It was more that. It was like this North American culture that makes you just too damn nosy. You know, too nosy for your own good. Curiosity killed the cat and stuff like that. That's why they came up with so many sayings like that. They're trying to teach their own people to stop being so damn nosy so they could survive, right? And yet they keep looking danger in the mouth and going, I wonder what's really in this gift horse, right? Yeah, so saying.
Okay.
As a lovely little tangent, yes, but I digress. I apologize.
No worries. You guys have any last words? I'll go ahead and end early.
Okay.
No,
Yeah, I guess, you know, it's a holiday.
Thanks for having me, and it was a great discussion. I always enjoy sitting here with you and Ruby, and listening to Ruby. She just blows my mind sometimes. You just
So enjoyable, and thank you for coming. I appreciate it.
Yes. You know, I feel like sometimes when Vonda says that, I feel like it might be a good thing. And sometimes when she says that, I feel like it might be a really bad thing, right? Like, I feel like it's like she's like, no, you just think so differently than me. But that's still either a very good or a very bad thing insofar as like, yo, this girl blows my mind. She's out of her mind crazy, right?
It's
Or
not
like,
a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. It's just, you know what? It has to do with, you know, geographics. You know, we are from different places, and we're from different generations, you know, and I take that into consideration. But I appreciate, you know, your honesty and the things that, you know, you say, you know, because I just be like, Ruby, really? You know, but it's just like, because it's just so different. And I don't ever want you to ever think that I'm like, you know, admonishing you or shaking my finger at you. It's just different, you know, and I can respect it, you know, and I appreciate you, you know, even being able to say it, you know, knowing that I'm probably going to be like, Ruby, really? You know, but.
Oh, it's fun though. No, I love it. I love having the discussion with, you know, people who in general, whether I agree with you or disagree with you, I like the genuine honesty. I love the fact that, you know, we're all grounded in what we believe and what we really think about the world, and we're willing to say it, because how in the world are we going to get anywhere, solve anything, help anybody if we're not willing to honestly be honest? We're just going to keep spitting out the same foolishness, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Huh. I want to be accepted, so I'm gonna pretend I believe some foolishness that will be accepted instead of, you know, let me just tell you the truth, because the truth is probably what a lot of people agree with, right? But they know that that's not the socially acceptable thing to say, right? Let's get a little bit past that. Yeah.
Yeah. Can't handle the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you guys be safe. We'll come back tomorrow for the article reaction. Don't pretend you don't know what that is, but If you don't know what it is, maybe I'll play a commercial. Yeah, I think that's what I'll do. But until then, tomorrow night, 6:30 p.m. Central. Peace, y'all.
Cheers, y'all.
Hey, folks, it's your nighttime, it's your right time DJ Music. Make sure you join Char Willie each and every Saturday, 7:30 Eastern, 6:30 Central, for Article Reaction, right here on your local YouTube channel. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe to Article Reaction.